Welcome to the Cosmic Within podcast. We blend guided meditation with immersive sounds embedded with brainwave technology to support deep relaxation, focused awareness, and restorative sleep. Each episode invites you inward into a vast, quiet inner cosmos where the mind slows and the nervous system resets. Saturn contemplation, a guided meditation. Find a position that is both comfortable and alert. Sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor or cross-legged on a cushion, or lie down if you are certain you will not fall asleep. Allow your spine to lengthen naturally. Let your hands rest open in your lap or palms down on your thighs. Close your eyes or soften your gaze downward toward the floor. Take a moment before anything else to simply notice that you are here. Notice the weight of your body. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice the sounds around you, whatever they are, and let them be exactly as they are. You do not need silence to go inward. You only need willingness. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Hold it gently at the top for just a moment. Then release it fully through the mouth, not forcefully, but completely. Let the exhale be thorough. Let it carry out whatever is cluttering the surface of your mind. Again, breathe in slowly, feeling the chest and belly expand. Pause at the top and release. One more time. In, pause, and out. Allow your breathing now to find its own natural rhythm. You do not need to control it. Simply observe it, the rise, the fall, the brief stillness between each breath. Notice that your breath has been happening all day, all week, all your life, without your supervision. The body knows how to sustain itself. For now, you are simply watching. Bring your attention down into the body. Feel the weight of yourself, the heaviness of the limbs, the solidity of the torso, the points where your body makes contact with the surface beneath you. Press down slightly through those contact points. Feel the floor or the chair or the cushion pressing back. This is gravity. This is the planet holding you. Let yourself be held. You are sitting on the surface of the earth, which is a rock moving through space at tremendous speed, and yet it feels perfectly still. This stillness is one of Saturn's great gifts, the stability of form, the reliability of structure, the fact that the ground is there when you step on it, that the walls hold when you lean against them, that things endure. Now begin to imagine the sky above you. Even if you are indoors, feel through the ceiling, through the roof, through whatever is above you, and sense the open sky beyond. It is daytime somewhere and nighttime somewhere, and the sky is always there, always vast, always containing more than the eye can take in. Feel the sky as something real and present, not as an abstraction. Let your awareness rise gently upward through that sky. Past the clouds if there are any. past the blue into the deeper dark that lies just beyond the thin shell of atmosphere that keeps you alive. Feel the cold of space, not as a threat, but as a fact. Space is ancient and vast and indifferent and also, in its way, orderly. The planets move in their paths. The stars hold their positions across millennia. There is a structure to the cosmos, and you are part of it. Let your awareness drift outward now, slowly and without effort. Past the moon, pale and cratered, circling the Earth in its patient rhythm. Past the orbit of Mars, red and dusty, smaller than you might expect. Through the vast emptiness that lies between the inner planets and the outer ones, a gulf so wide it humbles every human sense of scale. And then, appearing at the edge of your inner vision, beginning to take shape in the darkness, you see it. Saturn. Take a moment to simply look. Let the image form at whatever pace it chooses. There it is, the great ring planet, the most visually astonishing object in the solar system. The rings catch what little light reaches this far from the sun and hold it in concentric bands of ice and rock and dust. They are simultaneously delicate and immense. They are ancient, much older than any human civilization, older than the species itself, and yet they are also constantly in motion, particles shifting and colliding and reforming in patterns too subtle and too slow for any single lifetime to observe. Saturn itself is enormous. It could contain more than 700 Earths within its volume. It is a giant, a gas giant, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, with no solid surface to stand on. And yet there is nothing soft about Saturn's meaning. In the ancient world, before telescopes, before space probes, before any of the modern knowledge we now carry, Saturn was known by its slowness. Of all the planets visible to the naked eye, Saturn moved most slowly across the sky. It took nearly 30 years to complete a single journey around the zodiac. The ancients watched it and felt in its pace something weighty, something serious, something that had to do with time itself. They named it after the god of time, the god of harvest, the god who both gives and takes away. In many traditions, Saturn was associated with age, with wisdom earned through difficulty, with the slow accumulation of consequence. To be under Saturn's influence was to be asked to grow up, to be asked to reckon with reality, to be asked to become, through patience and discipline and honest effort, something durable. Sit with that for a moment. Sit with the planet in your inner vision and feel the weight of what it represents. Time, consequence, the long view. Think now about your own life and the dimension of time within it. Not any particular event or memory yet, simply the fact of duration. You have been alive for a certain number of years. You have moved through seasons and decades. You have begun things and ended things. You have watched people age. You have watched yourself age. There is a part of you that has been present through all of it, a witnessing awareness that has traveled with you since the beginning of your conscious life. Turn your attention gently toward that part of yourself. Not your name, not your role, not your history, but the one who has watched all of those things unfold. The one who was there when you were a child and is here now. That continuity is real. It is one of the most important facts about you. Saturn asks you to honor that continuity. Saturn asks you to take the long view of your own life, to step back from the urgency of the immediate and ask, what is actually being built here? What am I actually becoming across time through the accumulated weight of my choices? Not what do I want right now, not what am I afraid of right now, but what kind of person am I constructing day by day, year by year, through what I do and what I refuse to do. These are Saturn's questions. They are not comfortable questions, but they are serious ones and they deserve serious attention. Let your breath slow a little more. Let the body settle deeper. There is no hurry in this space. Saturn is patient. Saturn has been circling the sun for billions of years and will continue to do so long after every human concern has dissolved. You can afford to be patient too for these few minutes. Now bring to mind the structures of your life. Not with judgment, but with clear eyes. The commitments you have made and are keeping. The commitments you have made and are not keeping. The structures you have built deliberately and the structures that have formed around you without your full awareness. The routines that sustain you. The patterns that limit you. The walls you have erected to protect something tender, and whether those walls are still serving their purpose or have become a prison. Saturn governs structure. Saturn is not interested in whether your structures are comfortable. Saturn is interested in whether they are true, whether they are built on something real, whether they will hold. Notice if there is anywhere in your life where you have been building on unstable ground. Not to judge yourself for it, but simply to see it clearly. Saturn's gift is clarity. The hard, clean clarity of someone who has lived a long time and has no interest in flattery. The clarity of winter when the leaves are gone and the bare structure of the tree is visible. In winter you can see what the tree actually is. You can see its true shape. Saturn is always winter in this sense, not the death of things, but the revelation of their true form. Breathe into that clarity. Let it be welcome, even if it is uncomfortable. Now let your awareness move gently toward the theme of discipline. Saturn is the great teacher of discipline, not as punishment, not as self-denial for its own sake, but as the understanding that what we do consistently, over time, is what we become. The musician who practices every day for 20 years becomes something that the musician who only plays when inspired never becomes. Not more talented, necessarily, but more formed, more themselves. The discipline is not a cage, it is a chisel. It carves away everything that is not essential and reveals what is underneath. Where in your life have you experienced this kind of discipline? Perhaps in work, perhaps in a physical practice, perhaps in the way you have shown up for someone over years. Let that experience come to mind gently. Feel the texture of it, the slow accumulation of effort, the way it felt at times tedious and at times deeply satisfying, the way it changed you in ways you did not fully notice until you looked back from a distance. Honor that. That slow, unglamorous, consistent effort is sacred work under Saturn. It is how the real self is built. And now turn gently toward the places where you have avoided this kind of sustained effort. Everyone has them. The places where you start and do not finish, where you intend and do not follow through, where the gap between who you want to be and who your daily actions are making you is wider than you would like to admit. Saturn does not want you to be ashamed of this. Shame is not useful, but Saturn does want you to be honest, to look at the gap without flinching, to ask yourself calmly and without drama, what would it look like to close that gap, not all at once, but in small, consistent, sustainable steps? What is the next right action? The one that is within your reach right now, that moves in the direction of the person you actually want to become? Let that question rest in you without forcing an answer. Sometimes the question itself, held with patience, is enough. Let the image of Saturn return to your awareness. There it is in the darkness, ringed and enormous, ancient and still. The rings are turning, imperceptibly slowly by human standards, but turning. Everything that appears fixed is in motion. Everything that appears permanent is in process. This is the paradox of Saturn. The planet of structure and time is also the planet of inevitable change, because it is precisely time that undoes all fixed forms. The rings themselves will one day disperse. The mountains on Earth will one day erode to plains. The cities will crumble. The names will be forgotten. This is not a cause for despair. It is a cause for a particular kind of freedom. If everything passes, then nothing that passes can be the deepest thing about you. The losses you have suffered, the failures you carry, the roles you have outgrown, the versions of yourself that no longer fit, all of these are real. And all of these are passing. What remains? What is the thing in you that time cannot erode? Saturn, despite being the god of time, is also paradoxically the place where you discover what is timeless in yourself. Because it is only by sitting fully with impermanence, by not flinching from the fact that everything changes and everything ends, that you discover the part of you that watches all of this with a steadiness that does not itself change. The awareness behind the experience. The silence beneath the sound. Rest in that awareness now. Not in any particular thought or image or feeling, but in the quality of awareness itself. It is very quiet here. It is very still. This is not emptiness in the sense of absence. It is fullness in the sense of completion. Nothing is missing from this moment. Everything that is here is exactly what is here, and it is enough. Saturn asks you to live more of your life from this place. Not removed from the world, not detached from your responsibilities or your loves or your struggles, but anchored in this deeper stillness even while fully engaged with the surface of life. To act with patience, to build with care, to take the long view, to let time do what time does, which is to reveal what is real and dissolve what is not. Stay here for as long as you wish. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. Saturn has been waiting for billions of years and is in no hurry. Let yourself be unhurried too. Let the breath move in and out at its own pace. Let the body be heavy and still. Let the mind be open and quiet. Let the great ring planet hold its place in the darkness of your inner sky, patient and vast and very, very old. When you are ready to return, do so slowly. Begin to deepen the breath. Begin to feel the body again more fully, the weight of the hands, the temperature of the skin, the sounds of the room around you. Wiggle the fingers gently. Let a small movement come into the shoulders. When it feels right, blink the eyes open and let the light return gradually. Do not rush immediately into activity. If you can, sit quietly for a few minutes after the meditation ends. Let what arose in the practice begin to settle. You may want to write something down. You may simply want to sit. Honor the transition. Saturn respects the threshold between the inner world and the outer one. Do not cross it carelessly. Carry something of this practice with you into the rest of your day. Not as a mood, not as a feeling, but as a quality of attention. A willingness to take the long view. A patience with the slow work of becoming. A respect for what endures. This is Saturn's gift, given not once but offered again and again, every time you are willing to sit still long enough to receive it. The rings turn. The years pass. You are here, awake, attending. That is everything.